Hey team, welcome back to our Toast Networking series. In this video, we will cover the installation of your Toast networking hardware. Today, we are on site at Foxden in Woburn, Massachusetts, and we'll be walking you through the steps to correctly install a Toast router, an 8-port PoE switch, and an indoor access point. Before we get started, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the first few videos in our Toast networking series: Install Site Readiness, Basic Site Requirements, and Install Site Readiness, Requirements for Wireless Connectivity, for all the background knowledge required for our installation today. Our friends here at Foxden have already had their home run cables set up to run back to their internet closet. What this really means is before setting up their hardware, they had Ethernet cables run from the location of their Toast hardware. Think, where am I putting my POS stations, my printers, my access points? Run all the way back to where these devices will be getting their internet from. This will look different for each location depending on your business size and setup. They have also made sure their site was prepared for install. This means home runs have been labeled, internet modem is receiving internet, and power is on in their building. These are critical site requirements that must already be set up before installing any of your Toast networking hardware. Now that everything's in place, it's time to get out all your Toast networking hardware. Let's start by unboxing your Toast router and switch. In the box, you will find a router, antennas, an Ethernet cable, power adapter, mounting hardware, and some non-slip rubber pads. Your switch will come with its own hardware for mounting, some non-slip rubber pads to attach to the bottom of the switch, and a power cable. The PC61 router is the Toast router you will use to connect to the internet. This router allows all of your Toast devices to talk to each other on the same network. The switch acts as an extension cord, providing you with additional ports to plug all those home run cables into that trace back to your Toast devices. Here at Foxden, they're utilizing our 8-port PoE switch. More to come on PoE in a bit. Begin by connecting the two cellular antennas to the router by screwing them into the side ports labeled 4G and 5G. The back of the router will have 4 ports, 3 labeled LAN and 1 labeled WAN. WAN is reserved for establishing the internet connection between your Toast router and your internet modem. LAN 1 will be reserved for your network switch. LAN 2 and 3 will remain open for additional devices that are not being plugged into your switch. Now that it's time to start plugging things in, let's head to the back office. Before connecting your Toast router to your internet modem, make sure there is an open port on your modem for Toast. Using the provided Ethernet cable, plug one end into the Ethernet port on the internet modem provided by your ISP, and the other end to the port marked WAN on the Toast router. This will ensure internet is flowing from your internet modem to your Toast router. Next, it's time to power on the Toast router by plugging in the router's power adapter into the jack marked DC. Power the device on and wait for it to come online. You will know the router is fully turned on when the power and internet lights are both green on your Toast router. Wait until both lights are on and green before connecting anything else. If the power or internet lights don't come on, be sure to check that the Ethernet cable connecting to the Toast router and the internet modem is securely plugged into both, and both power cables are fully inserted. You can also try restarting your internet modem to establish an internet connection. If your router does not light up or shows a red or yellow light, refer to the next video in our networking series, Troubleshooting Your Toast Networking Hardware. Next, let's plug in your SC08P 8-port switch. By plugging this network switch into your router, you get extra ports on your Toast router. Remember, LAN 2 and LAN 3 are the only extra ports on the Toast router. The size of the switch will determine how many extra ports you have. This is usually directly related to how many Toast devices, terminals, printers, access points need internet to work. To install your switch, connect the port labeled LAN 1 on your Toast router to port 1 on the network switch using the Ethernet cable provided. Next, connect the power cord on the switch. Once the power cord is plugged into a working power source, the power light on the back of the switch will be green. When it comes to connecting your home run Ethernet cables to your switch, there are a few rules to follow. Some ports on the switch are reserved for toast devices, such as terminals or printers, while other ports are reserved for access points, which provide wireless connectivity to connect your Toast handheld devices. Now, if your business does not have handhelds or other wireless devices, you will not need access points. For more information on preparing your site for wireless connectivity, check out a previous video in our Toast networking series, Install Site Readiness Requirements for Wireless Connectivity. Depending on the size of your switch, the recommended ports for each device will change. For example, if you have an 8-port switch, ports 2 through 5 are reserved for Toast devices, and ports 6 and 7 are reserved for access points. Port 8 is reserved for connecting an additional switch. Now remember, we said earlier FOX10 is using an 8-port PoE switch. These special switches have PoE ports, providing power over Ethernet. This means that these ports can provide power and Ethernet to the access points connected to them. This is important to remember. Your access points will not connect to a wall outlet for power at their installation site like your terminal. If you are using a non-PoE switch and need to install an access point, you can use a PoE injector. More to come on that later in this video. Now that your switch is plugged in, let's start connecting devices. Remember, the first port on every switch is designated as an uplink port, meaning this port is going to establish the connection between your Toast router and your Toast switch. The last port on the switch is designated as a downlink port, meaning this port is used to create a connection to another switch. We are going to plug in all our Toast devices into ports 2, 3, 4, and 5, and our access point into port 6. This is where labeling your cables comes in really handy. Now that your back office equipment has been set up, let's head back out to finish connecting the access points. Your access point will need to be mounted by your team ahead of time to ensure a successful installation. At the mounted location of your access point, connect the other end of your home run Ethernet cable to the port on your Toast access point marked WAN/PoE. As you can see here, they have mounted their backplate. The access point then slides and clicks into place. For an indoor access point, wait until you see a solid LED on the Toast Wi-Fi access point. This will indicate Wi-Fi connectivity. An outdoor access point does not have an external LED. Check for Wi-Fi connectivity by looking for your Wi-Fi network ending in _Toast. Keep in mind, if you are using a non-PoE switch, you might need to utilize a PoE injector to provide this access point with power and internet. To install the injector, connect one Ethernet cable from the switch port to the LAN port of the PoE injector in your back office. At the mounted location of your access point, connect the PoE port of the PoE injector to the WAN/PoE port of the access point. Now that we've connected your Toast router, switch, and access points, we have officially set up your Toast network. Let's head over to the POS to confirm connectivity. Start by selecting the overflow menu, device status, and underneath connectivity, you'll see that everything is showing as online. Now, if things didn't run as smoothly as they did here today, be sure to check out the next episode in our networking series, Troubleshooting Your Toast Networking Hardware. And as always, utilize Toast Central and our customer care team for more help. You got this!